Now the first running back taken back in April, the former Longhorn, Bijan Robinson.
And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Well, this defense for the Commanders, they put together a strong effort last week in the win over Chicago.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
And London, the motion man right. Oh, here's a fake on the jet sweep and a give to Robinson.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
The Falcons at 2-3 here to begin the new season. Now, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Looking to throw it here. Ritter. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down.
That's Deron Payne with a sack that time.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Ritter back to throw.
Under pressure, they got him again. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
They'll make that a 2nd sack here on their first drive out defensively. And not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
And with a play clock at 3, we'll get a signal and a timeout on the whistle. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Ritter and the Falcons need an answer, and a big play here on 3rd and long following the sack.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. Now a man who did his collegiate punting just a couple hours from here in Clemson in South Carolina, Bradley Pinion to kick. And he punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This is fielded at the 27. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck.
And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. Howell and the Commanders come up now 1st and 10
at their own 37. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 5.
This is Gordon as they go to him again. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Well, partner, if the defense isn't going to adjust and they keep giving them those 5, 6, 7-yard runs over and over, they're likely to run it the whole way to the end zone. They'll be more than happy to take the yardage available and save some of their other plays in the playbook for another time.
Eluding the pressure right.
Slings this deep from McLaurin.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
2nd and 10. Howell, he'll look to throw it. Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. You talk about this Falcon defense.
This crew against the pass, issues at times, ranked number 24, Charles, in the NFL.
And those are the kind of plays that this unit needs to make because they know that going against a team of this magnitude and the way that they're playing, they cannot afford to let them get on a roll early. Chip away at their timing.
Howell throwing on 3rd down here. Slings this deep from McLaurin. This is caught inside the 15.
And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. They'll keep it on the ground. This time it's Gordon.
And he's in. Touchdown, Commanders.
Melvin Gordon.
His 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Commanders will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Joey Sly on for the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Commanders out to a 7-0 lead.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Cordero Patterson to return it, bringing it out of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week, and you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it because...
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
It's a first down for Washington on a pickup of 11. Play action. It's Howell. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10. Throwing here, Howell.
And oh, it'll be intercepted.
And the Falcons are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line.
That's a beautiful read there by the safety. It's zone coverage, so he's just going to sit back and watch. He knows he can't get beat deep because he has the end line to protect him. so he can react to everything in front of him, and he makes a great break on the football and comes down with the interception.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Back to Robinson now on first down. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
Got this complete to Jahan Dotson.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Back to throw. Howell. Going right back to Dotson. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Howell down to throw it.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates.
And the Falcons are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, they tried to take their shot right there, but the ball hung up a little too long, and it's intercepted.
And when you describe trying to take their shot right there, usually the ball has to be thrown on a little bit more of a line. You just mentioned it. The ball hung up there. The reaction time of the defenders, they win the day and intercept it.
Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early.
And the offensive penalty has us back where we started as they come up on a 1st and 10. Ritter to throw it. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Put your hands on him. Get hands on motion man. Mike 35, Mike 35. Hey, pick it up. Green Jack. 35's the Mike.
Here's Ritter.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It's another zone defense that looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
Here we go.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll send a receiver here in motion right.
Ritter off the play fake.
Being chased out under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there.
And this will be taken at the 13. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I remember
I was going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Now they go play action with Howell. Looking for Dotson, and he's got him.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Here's Howell.
Open man is Samuel, complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Sets up the screen to Gordon. Touchdown! Melvin Gordon. He scored on the ground and through the air. And they are able to add on to their advantage. And the kick makes it through, but flags come flying in as well. It appears we're going to get a roughing call tacked on.
So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield.
No return here for Patterson, so they'll begin things at the 25-yard line.
Here we go, set, yellow, 22.
35 to Mike.
Ritter with it after the play fake.
Going deep this time for Miller. And that's caught inside the 35. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
Robinson up the middle.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
This pass is caught by London.
The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, he just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime.
Ritter now.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons.
Bijan Robinson.
His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Falcons are on the board here in the final minute of the first.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead.
Flush to his right. And Gordon's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts,
as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Escaping the pressure right.
And it is incomplete. Good positioning there downfield to break that one up.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
2nd and 10, Howell.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted.
Picked up by Richie Grant. And the Falcons are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. 3 first-half interceptions now, and Charles, you'd have to think a fair amount of concern is developing over there on that sideline.
And there should be, because essentially he's been a little loose and possibly reckless with the football here in the first half. Now, maybe it's not all on him, but still 3 interceptions. That puts the entire team in jeopardy. So the play caller from here on out got to design some throws for him that he can complete, keep it away from the defense, and try and get him back on track. We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout.
Second down and a run by Robinson.
And he's able to get up here to the 26. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon.
Second half about to start. The Commanders have the lead. They'll get it first as we are back underway. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead, but also a little bit of scolding because they got to take better care of the football in the second half. But you and I both know the great leaders, they know how to give that little bit of vinegar in there and cover it with a big dose of honey.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Howell.
That's going to be caught by Samuel. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, Nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And Howe will throw it. And returns it right back to Samuel. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Now a 3rd and 6. Now Howe. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Washington. Jahan Dotson, 62 yards. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his second interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Good yardage there on first down, exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
And this is taken in for a Washington touchdown. Zach Ertz, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Commanders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And his kick is good, and flags fly as well. Some frustration showing through right now. This is going to be a roughing call. And they'll accept that penalty. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Play clock down to 5, and they're going to burn a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. That is incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
Back to the air on second down. Here's Ritter again. Got an open man. It's Josh Palmer. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there. And no move to get the offense off the field. Despite failing once, they're going to go again here on 4th down.
They're going for this. Here's Ritter. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as he's brought to the ground after a gain of 7, 5 more than he needed on 4th and 2.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart, yeah, even for a talented receiver.
Well, this is intercepted. They get Ritter for the 3rd time. Picked off by Jamin Davis.
And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material.
Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon.
And he's got it down to the 28.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
On 3rd down, this is Melvin Gordon. And he showed a nice little juke, but then the window quickly closed. A gain of 2, just like we saw on 1st and 2nd down as well. Deuce is wild. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Now they go for it on 4th down, but that pass is knocked away and incomplete. Ron Rivera, the gambling type, but he comes up empty here. And the Falcons defense stands tall. They'll get the football back. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
66 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
One of only 2 rookies to top 1,000 yards on the ground last year. Here's Tyler Algier.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
And he carries this one past the midfield stripe and into Commander territory.
Calling a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here, 3rd and a yard.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On 3rd and 1, it's Ritter. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Falcons first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2. First down, here's Ritter.
Nowhere to go here. He lost keeps the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long.
Ritter. A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. They try and bring the pressure, but he still gets off a good one. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And the Commanders will take over, but backed up deep in their own territory. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, 4th quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone.
And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them, and they took advantage of it there. Got a nice interception and set up their offense in great shape.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Ritter will set up to throw it.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked by Kendall Fuller.
And the Commanders are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line.
If they had designs of kind of wiggling their way back into this one, that hurts their chances right there.
They had to put it mildly. But look at the lead, look at the deficit, trying to make a play downfield. Everyone seeking to be somewhat the hero. Didn't turn out that way at all, and you're exactly right. It's going to take a lot for them.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked up by Richie Grant. And the Falcons will take over here just shy of the 30.
And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Here's 2nd and 10. Working from the gun, Ritter. That's out wide here for Robinson. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson.
And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player, you have to know the situation.
And now here's another interception. Picked by Jeff Okudah. And the Falcons are going to take over at their own 2-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Again, it's Robinson. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout.
That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
17.
Back to throw, Ritter.
And my goodness, another interception. And that will set him up in excellent shape. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line.
Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Powell completing the quick throw out wide.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
That right there, Charles, is your exclamation mark. They already had the nice lead on their way to a victory, but one final touchdown here to...
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it.
I know they're not asking me, but I'll give you my opinion anyway. I think it's time to erase that play from the call sheet. I guess they figure with the big lead they can experiment a little bit. But all in all, just go ahead and put that play on ice.
And a good job here by the Falcons. Their hands team able to recover it. The 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw here. And now here is another interception.
And the Commanders are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
On Arnold Ebiketie in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
So a victory here for the Commanders.
And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Washington, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll have another road date next week with the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Tampa to take on the Bucs. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.